Hello friends, and thank you very much for joining us. It's Thursday, October the 27th, and I've got this little wriggle worm to come and report with me. This is Dina, and there you go, Dina. Don't press on the buttons. So we're just reporting on what happened yesterday with the close-up of her tail. The surgery all went fine. I had 3 basal skin carcinomas removed. Every time he kept on saying the word, I kept on thinking of Basil Fawlty's wife going, Basil! Anyway, the basal cell carcinomas have been removed, 3 of them, and thank you to all those people who sent me good wishes, and to the people with their home remedies like putting drops of tea tree oil on them. Well, I decided to get a qualified skin surgeon to remove them instead, and it's not thought that there's any further problems with those particular spots. But for anybody who's spent a lot of time out in the sun while they're younger, this is what you need to face as you get older. You will have these possible cancerous cells developing, and it's best when you spot them, get them removed early, and you've probably got a very good outcome. But we've got a lot to talk about on the program, so let's get started. Well, I hope it's not too unsightly for you. I asked him to put some sort of skin-coloured bandages on, so we'll proceed. And we'll start off with a little bit of housekeeping. And this is from the NBT, reported on Calsot English. And the body of a Russian tourist has been found after swimming at the Naiton beach. She disappeared some 7 days ago, and the body was taken to Patong. This is a Russian tourist. She was 53 years old, and she was last seen entering the water at Naiton Beach some 7 days ago. It was, in fact, yes, last Thursday. And obviously fears were held for her well-being after she wasn't seen. And a $10,000 US dollar reward was being offered for any information about her. But yes, the body was eventually found and is now being taken to Patong Beach. On another housekeeping matter, this is in relation to the SWAT policeman, Sergeant Bird, I think his name was, and the Tiger reporting that police detain SWAT officer who fled after a nightclub shooting in southern Thailand, and police have tracked down and arrested Sergeant Bird, the SWAT officer who shot dead a man at Country Home nightclub in Trang province. Sergeant Bird fired 11 shots with a 9mm gun, 9 of them hitting a 32-year-old. 2 others were injured in the gunfire. So just a few stories just to keep you up to date. Moving on to other stories today, and Calsot English report that 100 police busted a drug party involving 237 Chinese partygoers and 29 Thai and Cambodian staff hidden inside a car wash centre in Bangkok's Sathorn area. Actually, it was sort of in the south part of the Sathorn district, not in the usual Sathorn area, which is quite upscale. And they found drugs including ketamine, happy water. Now, happy water, this is something I'm hearing more of as police raid these parties. Happy water, by the way, in case you've been living under a rock, isn't sort of made up from pink lemonade and sherbet. It's got other sort of nastier things in it, and apparently meant to make the people happy. But as we'll see, it's not cheap. And they discovered 300 plastic bags selling at 10,000 baht per pack, not pet pack. Luxury cars parked there included Rolls-Royce, Porsche and Mercedes-Benz. There were some 32 luxury vehicles hidden in the car park, all behind these car wash centres. The place was Chinese-owned and 20 karaoke rooms, but the owner has no licence to operate a nightlife establishment. Many partygoers frantically tried to flee or hid, but to no avail. Of the turn of phrase there. And let's move on to the Bangkok Post version of the story. See if we can find out any more about this story. Police raid illegal nightclub for Chinese, seize luxury cars. Says a total of 104 customers tested positive for drugs in Bangkok's Yan Nawa area, and right on the banks of the Chao Phraya River there. And police say that they were acting on a tip-off. The buildings were being used illegally as entertainment venues with a karaoke bar to serve Chinese visitors. and the foreign nationals who tested negative for drug use were handed over to immigration police. They're probably going to be held at the Immigration Detention Centre, which from all reports is a very unpleasant place to be staying for a short or a long time. And the third paragraph there, a police source says the night spot has been operating for about 4 months. Nobody noticed, apparently, and it mainly served Chinese customers. The Thais and Cambodians were employed there, and some worked for the Chinese customers. The owner was a Chinese national, and we noticed down below, which seems to end all these stories, that the local police chief was transferred pending further inquiries. So again, a local police officer sidelined whilst they conduct inquiries. You wonder whether any of these police who are sidelined ever get actually punished for perhaps, allegedly, being involved in getting some sort of kickbacks so that they can turn a blind eye. Allegedly. Anyway, this is TNT. If you haven't already, please, like it, the program if you do, or give us a thumbs down if you don't. Whichever way, it all helps with engagement, as does your subscribing to the channel. And I do need to thank 5-Star Marine very much for their ongoing support of the program. 5-Star Marine, if you want to head off the island of Phuket to visit any one of the 32 islands surrounding Phuket. Tim Newton today is the program. Thanks for dropping in, and just some updates on what's happening on Patong Hill Road. You'll know that last Wednesday it was closed down because it was considered unsafe after a massive landslide removed just a full lane of the 3 lanes going up and down the hill, and that long term is going to be a big fix. But they allowed from the weekend pedestrians to start walking backwards and forwards, forming these huge car parks on either side as people were dropping off their bikes and getting picked up on the other side. Well, now they're allowing pedestrians. So here we have some footage from News Hawk Phuket. People going down the hill on a lane about as far away from the destroyed part of the road as you can get, and you can see people walking up on a lane next to it. And here we go down the hill as people, most of them not wearing helmets, make their way down the hill from Patong in this case. And driving past police and ambulances, obviously a safety issue with the condition of that hill, and most of them still not wearing bike helmets. I'll never be able to figure that out. But that's the update on what's happening on Patong Hill Road. We've heard nothing about plans to actually repair the road and open it to real traffic. I mean, if they're going to allow people walking across and then riding their bikes across, you can imagine that they're probably going to try and open one lane to vehicle traffic, which I think would just be an act of municipal stupidity at the highest level, and no signs yet of any actual plans to bolster the land there and relay the road, or cut more into the hill, into something more substantial to lay a new road. We haven't heard how they're going to tackle it at this time. To our next story, and we go to Chiang Mai now, and Chiang Mai unveils the latest watery tourism attraction, Klong Mekha, and the story says that it's a new buzzing tourist destination as visitors begin to flow into the city ahead of the high season, and it's been described there as a romantic night market vibe with subtle lighting. Now, getting into more of the story from The Nation, nationthailand.com, and the Chiang Mai municipality is also encouraging locals who live along the canal to turn the houses into shops and stalls selling food, beverages and desserts to generate revenue for the community. Well, I think the idea would be to ask them first before you go ahead with the makeover, but I'm sure they're very happy for the suggestion from the local officials. Down the bottom there, the romantic atmosphere will soar from November the 7th to the 9th, when the Yipeng Lantern Festival will light up the canal. Visitors can also expect traditional performances staged by residents. Yeah, so the local council suggesting locals put on a costume and put on a traditional show, as well as selling desserts out the front of their house. So the Yi Peng Lantern Festival, that's part of the Loy Krathong Festival. It's held right across Thailand. That is on the 8th, I think Tuesday the 8th in November. That's when they make the krathongs and they float them out. They light them and then float them out. That's what I think I'm going to do with all my old flowery shirts. I'm going to build a great big krathong, put them on top, put some fireworks on there and send it out into the Andaman Sea, never to be seen again. So good news anyway for the people of Chiang Mai. Here's some photos of it. Looks quite nice, and a bit of greenery and some markets, and suddenly you've got a nice new tourist attraction, looking very nice, drone shot at night. Those are all from nationthailand.com. Further, the Nation is reporting that Bangkok residents warned the Chao Phraya could overflow from today till November the 9th. Now, we'll get back to these dates a little bit later, but let's go to the main story. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration warns that the Chao Phraya may burst its banks from yesterday until November the 9th due to rising sea tide, heavy rains and runoff from upstream provinces. Remembering not only is it the monsoon season, but they had that big typhoon that had dissipated into a tropical depression by the time it reached Thailand, but dropped a lot of rain. In the warning, the BMA said the water level of the river would rise to about 1.7 to 2.2 metres above the median sea level. So people along the riverbanks of the Chao Phraya will obviously be prepared at this stage because it's been threatened for about 2 weeks now. Down the bottom saying that it's runoff from the upper provinces, according to the BMA, making sure that people understand it's not the BMA's fault. The city administration urged Bangkok residents who may be affected by the overflowing river to seek help from the BMA through its Facebook page or via the Trafi Fondue app. Trafi Fondue app. Who came up with that name? I'm sure it probably means something in Thai. I don't know. But further to the actual dates, let's look at when the Typhoon Noru was passing through. Look at all those dates. It was September the 28th. Even if that was the date it made sort of landfall on Vietnam about a day before it started tracking into northeast Thailand, we're talking of, some month ago that typhoon or tropical depression came through northeast and central Thailand, dropping a tremendous amount of rain, and now eventually making its way down into the lowest stretches of the Chao Phraya River and affecting Bangkok directly. To our next story, also from the Nation, once again weather related, and winter expected to begin on October the 29th and last until the end of February. Winter is expected to arrive in Thailand on Saturday, 2 weeks later than normal, according to the TMD. So winter in Thailand, not quite like winter maybe in your part of the world. Now, winter really refers to the cold snap that they get up in the far north of the country, principally around, say, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, where it does get quite cool and say down to like 10 degrees at night. That's Celsius, of course, and you might even need to wear a jumper during the day. And Thais love flocking up to Doi Suthep, the tallest mountain in Thailand, and seeing the fog as it lays across the valleys below, and they love the chance to experience a little bit of slightly cooler weather. For places like Bangkok and further south, it really just means clear blue skies, dry weather, and it's the nicest time of the year for most people. So that's winter in Thailand. To this story, police may charge a crazed ultra-royalist who threatened bomb assaulted Thanatorn at the book fair. Thanatorn was the leader of the Future Forward Party. Hi there, Dina. That's where their food is. And it was quite a kerfuffle, which we'll see in just a moment. The story says a mentally disturbed ultra-royalist behind numerous public disturbances now faces legal jeopardy after he shouted bomb and assaulted former political figure at a weekend book fair. Looks like the police are at last going to press charges against this serial offender. At least 20 publishers said they'd file complaints against. Now, not even I am going to attempt this name. I did earlier and I got through it, but I'm not going to embarrass myself. We'll just call him, as he's called in this article, K100 million. Apparently he's made a lot of money from real estate and hence earning that rather peculiar nickname. Anyway, he shouted that he had a bomb inside his bag at the National Book Fair. So all the people at the book fair said, well, everybody's left. They got frightened, so we're going to sue you. And the man was subdued by security guards and taken to the Lumpini police station, saying that he suffered minor bruises to his face. Thanatorn said he was pressing charges against the gentleman for physical assault. And the man who's called K100 million, here we are, due to his apparent large real estate wealth, has become infamous for volatile incidents that go unpunished. And this last paragraph a bit strange, the National Police Chief saying, whilst he's not being held to account for his past violent outbursts, they wouldn't take the matter lightly, especially given that he's committed a crime in an important public space. That important public space being the Queen Sirikit Convention Centre. Queen Sirikit, who was married, of course, to King Bhumibol Adulyadej, the former King of Thailand. Now we're going to play the actual incident because, although we don't, of course, condone violence in any way, there was a slightly amusing section, there's Dina again, of this particular incident. Here we go. This gentleman waiting patiently to get his... Oh, he's sitting... Oh, no, can't. Oh, he's being attacked. So Thanatorn, I'm just stressing that he wasn't hurt in the attack. And we see a lot of feet there. And then the poor gentleman in red still saying, am I going to get my book signed or not? So a poor man probably still waiting there to get his book signed. But that was a dreadful attack, and that ultra-royalist, a serial offender, and let's hope that he will now start to get the help he obviously needs. Just noting that he's committed a number of outrageous disturbances in recent years, according to coconuts.co. In 2019, he released Cobras and committed self-harm in front of the Central World Shopping Centre. I recall that well. In February, he poured bottles of red soda onto himself and shouted incomprehensibly as he paraded through Siam Paragon holding a framed portrait of King Vashira Longkorn. And it says that glass he shattered injured a shopper. In May this year, he assaulted a 68-year-old pro-democracy activist. So that man obviously needs to be taken off the streets, professionally assessed, given the help he needs, and hopefully preventing future outbursts like that. That is the program for today. We thank you very much for dropping in. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm astonished how well it's doing, and I am sincerely thankful for the support you're giving the program. So we hope to do it all again together tomorrow.